Hello, in this video, we continue the discussion of this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and this is video number 7. Sounds interesting? Join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. On this channel, I share what I know and continue to learn. If you are new, my name is Sherifa Nakalema. I'm a business owner here in Virginia, USA, and I share business tips, YouTube tips, earning money online tips. That's through affiliate marketing, motivation to encourage you to take a step to make your life better. In this video, actually this session that I do around this time, they are only for books. I talk about great books like this one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So if all that sounds interesting, and if you're taking a step to make your life better sounds like a good message, please consider subscribing and sharing my messages. I have many videos. This is video number 118. But as far as the book, this is video number 7. Video 1 to 6 are in a playlist. I call it Lessons from Robert Kiyosaki. It's a link, I link it in the description, but also in a pinned comment and also at the end of this video. So if you're just seeing me today for the first time under these lessons, please consider starting from the beginning by watching 1 to 6. It's an interesting story. But for those who are following along, thank you for continuing. At the end, I called Audible. I'm going to tell you what they said about getting an audio version of this. I'll discuss that at the end and also the schedule for this channel. Let's first continue with the story. Before I do that, I have to talk, always, I have to say who the writer of this book, the author. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is written by Robert Kiyosaki, and he's a self-made millionaire, he's an entrepreneur, he's an educator, he's an investor. And his mission, writing this book, in fact, his mission in life in general, because he wrote so many books and does many things, is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity, starting with one life and one person at a time. Okay, who are these? Who this rich? The rich dad and the poor dad. The poor dad is Robert's real dad, who was a very intelligent man, highly educated with a PhD, and he was a superintendent of education. The rich dad was his friend's dad, who the friend was Mike. And this one is, he left school age 13 from 8th grade and ended up becoming one of the wealthiest men in Hawaii. But this book is about the lessons that Robert learned from both men. But mostly for us, we're interested in the ones he got from Rich Dad. Now, we ended video 6, where I'm continuing now. I try to make them not too long, so we just continue, like every day we continue. I record every day. We ended, when you see me reading, it means I read the book and I got out some summary, and I'm reading it here. And sometimes I go to the book itself, especially when conversations are happening. So, we are continuing. We ended when Robert and Mike had formed a partnership, remember? And they were so excited because, you remember, their goal is to make money. And Mike had an idea to make money from a science book he had read. Okay. Now, what happened for the next several weeks, Robert and Mike ran around looking, knocking on people's doors, neighbors' doors, asking for their toothpaste tubes. You know, like when you use toothpaste, that empty thing that remains, the tube. So this idea had to do with those empty tubes. So when they knocked on the neighbors' doors, most adults would look puzzled. They had like puzzled looks. But they agreed with a smile. They gave them the toothpaste tubes. But some adults asked what the boys were doing. And their answer was, we can't tell you. It's a business secret. And But as time went on, because this took a while when they are collecting the tubes, and Robert's mom grew distressed about what the boys were doing. And because the boys had selected a site where they were like putting their whatever they collected, they decided to put it at a site next to her washing machine. As they chose the washing machine, the area next to Robert's mother's washing machine, at the place they stockpiled their raw materials. You know, there is a lesson. I have to mention a few things after what the boys were doing, like at the end, after I finished reading. So now I have to go in the book. I have to go in the book because the reason I go back to the book is because it makes it faster. I can't copy everything. So remember, mom was not liking what the boys were doing. So finally, after some time, my mom put her foot down. The sight of her neighbor's messy, crumpled, used toothpaste tubes had gotten to her. "What are you boys doing?" she asked. "And I don't want to hear again. That's a business secret. Do something with this mess, or I'm going to throw it out," like a normal mother would do. Mike and I pleaded and begged, explaining that we would soon have enough and then would begin production. We informed her that we were waiting on a couple of neighbors to finish their toothpaste so we could have their tubes. Okay, mom granted us a 1-week extension. There's a lesson there that I didn't even note. I'm going to mention later. I just noticed now. Okay, so what happened next? So he says, Robert is saying that the pressure was on. The pressure was on. My first partnership was already being threatened with an eviction notice by my own mom. Okay, so what happened next? It became Michael's job to tell the neighbors to quickly use up their toothpaste, saying to the neighbors that their dentist wanted them to brush more often anyway. So, and then Robert was putting together the production line. So what happened? There is a lot here. You have to be like reading the book. They describe the whole process of what they were doing. But then one day, their dad showed up. He came back with a friend. And dad asked them, watched what they were doing. They were now in production. "What are you boys doing?" And he asked with a cautious smile. "We are doing what you told me to do. We are going to be rich." That's Robert responding to his dad. "Yep." Mike said, grinning and nodding his head. "We are partners." So then I'm skipping a few lines. It's a communication. And then, so dad was watching. They were so excited. They were busy. Then he said, "Oh no, you are casting nickels out of lead." "That's right," Mike said. "We are doing as you told us to do. We are making money." So I continue to read in the book. So my daddy's friend, remember dad had come home with a friend. My daddy's friend turned and burst out into laughter, like he laughed. But my dad, that's Robert's dad, smiled and shook his head. So then he asked the boys to sit down. Anyway, I can move forward. I skip some things. And he explained to the two boys what counterfeiting means, or what it meant to be counterfeiting money. And so after all that, our dreams were dashed. You mean this is illegal? And so they were asking their dad, what we are doing was illegal. They were actually printing and making money. And their dad, the friend to the dad said, let them go. They might be developing a natural talent. Yes, the dad looked, yes, it's illegal. My dad said gently, but you boys have shown great creativity and original thought. Keep going. I'm really proud of you. Disappointed, Mike and I sat in silence for about 20 minutes before we began cleaning out the mess. The business was over on opening day. So sweeping the powder up, I looked at Mike and said, I guess Jimmy and his friends were right. We are poor. So I'm going to stop here to see, then next we'll see what happened next. They went back, they were depressed, all this hard work, like we do, like business people. You come, you're excited to start on something, and then that's what I said I wanted to mention some things. This is the end of today's lesson. I'll continue because what happens is a little bit longer. I didn't want to make a very long video. What happened next is still exciting, and that will be video number 8. But there are some lessons from what these boys just did there. For me, lesson number 1 is, if you're thinking about starting a business where you have to produce a product, you need raw materials. Remember, for them, they need the toothpaste, those tubes. You have to think about the raw materials. You have to think about where to get them from. You have to think about where to store them. You have to think about the cost, like rent, signing up contracts. When their mom was threatening them, that could be a real person where you are putting your stuff, they're threatening to evict you or something. These are real things that are happening to real people. So before you start, maybe you can negotiate a contract. Like before you start, someone could say, okay, give me 1 free month before I start production. So we collect our materials here, but please don't charge us any rent until we are ready to produce. Or things like that. You can do those kind of negotiations. And then also, when you put a comment, I'm trying to see if anyone is really, really into this, what I'm doing with this book. Let me see. Please add a comment. What do you learn from Mike going back to the neighbors, like encouraging them to brush more? But for him, he's interested in the empty tube, to brush more, because even the dentists want them to brush their teeth more, right? So what do you call that? Because it's like negotiating, trying to make them do something is a good thing, but is that like a good message to have as a business person? Because it could be something else. Like the way people negotiate. The way people negotiate deals, you see discounts and stuff, it's people who think like that. How can I make these people brush them more so they give me that? But what you're asking them to do is it's not a bad thing to brush their teeth, right? Maybe they were brushing once, now let them brush twice, but you're interested in that tube. But you're also encouraging them to do something good. So would that be like a good message? I don't know. What do you think? And then, yes, think about the production process. Remember, as Mike was looking for the tubes to go get the tube, then Robert was studying the process, the production process. When you get to read the real book, you see they had a process, what to do to be able to produce. They were producing real money, coins, nickels, brown one. So you think about the process. How are you going to, in fact, when you see products on the market, they go through a process. They test it out. Even when you have like services, like you see the beta testers, there's always a process that if something goes through before it becomes final on the market. So you have to take the time. That's why entrepreneurs are patient people. Business owners are patient people. You can't make money like so quickly. So that's, I think, lesson number, that's video number, we are still on lesson number 1, by the way. Did I mention that was lesson number 1, that, which is the rich don't work for money. This was the continuation. If this is the first video you watched, It was a continuation of the rich don't work for money. That's the lesson. We are still on chapter 1 of the book, and that's the lesson. It's still going on. Now, for those who want to know, who are new, I record videos every day here. The lessons from the books. It's recent. I just started doing it, and I intend to do it at the end of Feb of 2021. That's when I started this. But I'm not committing to continuing unless I see real interest in it. Because my other schedule, I talk about business tips, YouTube tips, and this is on these books come on every day at 1 p.m. USA Eastern Time. But I skip Friday. I do YouTube lives. Please come attend. I make it private after. If you want to chat with me, come on Friday, 1 p.m. Check the local time in Google, your local time. It's USA Eastern Time, 1 p.m. I'm here in Virginia, USA. And then for the other two, which I do Thursdays and Sundays, those come as premieres at 12:30 p.m., which is 30 minutes earlier. So that if you had a premiere, you'll find I just had one yesterday where I had the premiere, regular premiere at 12:30, and then the book came afterwards. So sometimes I have two of these videos, of my videos. One could be a motivational, like what I did recently, and then a book will come after. So daily for books, live on Fridays, same time at the books, and then the premieres 12:30 p.m. USA Eastern. And that's for YouTube tips, business tips, and also motivation. On Sundays, mostly motivation. So don't miss the motivation one on Sunday. But we are here. Now, for those of you who want to listen to this book, I've been mentioning there is a link below. And I try to follow that link and see what it does. So when you go to Audible, it takes you to Audible. You get an account, but the account is called Premium. It's free. They have a catalog, you pick what you want and podcast, and it's free for 1 month. But then I realized that it doesn't have this book. Because the account I use is a Premium Plus. So it has all these books. And if you want to listen to it right now, you'll have to sign up for Premium Plus. The same link, but you have to choose Premium Plus. That's where you'll be able to listen to this one free for 1 month. Otherwise, you could go buy it, or you could wait. Negotiating something. When I called them today, they really explained how this whole thing works. Remember I said I want to share my password so you can listen free? But I'll have to share the password through the phone. They say I have to share everything through the app. That's complicating it a little bit because I'll have to have your phone number and my phone number, and then I have to share it. Let's see how committed you are. Because like people who are committed in my Facebook group, we communicate by phone. If you get to that level, I see your name all the time coming back. Please, when you watch, leave a comment. That's how I know who is committed. Like right now, I'm asking you what lessons did you get from these simple things that the boys are doing? If you keep commenting and showing that you're really getting out something and it's a good thing, I'll get to know, be familiar with you and see that you're really watching. At some point, I may create like a group where I can share my number and my password. Then you can listen to everything I listen to, have access. It's a great account. All kinds of books I'll share. Okay? I already have almost 40 titles that I could share with you. And then this one, you can listen. But you have to be committed. I like people who are committed to change their lives. I have to see that you're really using the lessons, or enjoying them, or sharing. Invite more people to this community of reading books. Even the other community of my other stuff that I do on there. Share my channel. Okay, that's it. Leave a comment, please. Like I always end them. Take very good care of yourself. Take very good care of your families. Take very good care of your health. Take a step to a better you. The next one is going to be video number 8, and we're continuing to see what the boys did next after this disappointing, which happens. If you ask business owners, we start something, you see it's not good, you stop and you start something else until you get to the right thing. Bye-bye.